I just made your.
Do, 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 ch, do, 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 do. Hey, everybody. How you doing? I'm not doing the big time hey because it's not the time to start the
Yeah, it's
show
not
just
got to
yet.
save his energy. He's only got so many big time
It's
hays
a
in.
little. Yeah, I gotta save my
One of these
voice a
days,
little
he's
bit.
gonna make his last big time. Hey.
That's right. So, Clint, how about you? How you doing, man? You ready? You ready for
Man, I'm
this?
good. Hey, you know what? There'd be worse ways to die than to be recording the podcast. Now, I don't know why. I hope it's no time soon. I'm hoping
That
like we're
you
doing
went
this.
kind of dark already, man. That
I
like
mean, hey,
you
yeah,
must be a Razorback baseball fan.
I may be. I may be. Oh my goodness, it is doom
Anyway,
and
we'll talk
gloom on
about
the
that later.
hill. Doom and gloom. Also,
Well,
I said
hey,
I tried to make a joke in her friend chat, and I don't think it either A was not funny or B nobody got it. And I'm going to go with B nobody got it.
yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go with that. But so
I probably got it.
you remember the lightning bolt, don't you, at Wild River Country?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, phew. You know how many times I walked all the way up that thing and was like, I'm not going down. Mm-mm.
Really?
Hey, no, it happened. It happened more than once. It happened more than once that I walked all the way up there and refused to go down. Like, nope, I chickened out. But it was a big long slide and it just went straight down. Like as
Oh
I'm
yeah.
being absorbed into my green screen. Like, ah.
In fact, you came off of it on your way down, or people
Yeah,
did
it was awful.
free
Worst
fall
wedding
for
we
them.
ever had. For the dirty men hoping to see a wardrobe malfunction, they would sit right there in the cabanas.
That's right.
True story.
Yeah.
So that big long slide, or was one was longer that or that of Shadur Sanders.
That's hurtful. That's
I,
you're talking about my quarterback, dude.
your quarterback, but we'll talk. We got to talk draft.
We got to talk the draft. We got to
Got
talk
to
the
talk the
draft.
draft. Got to
And
talk
Clinton, by
Shadur
the way,
Sanders slide too.
we're we've never pretended to be the smartest people. Never. We've never pretended. But apparently we can't get our numbering correctly.
No,
What we
we're
say on here.
dumb as
We
hell,
we
son.
well, we've been behind on our numbering. Last week we got on here, we said we were on episode 195. It was 196. So I looked it up just beforehand, so I make sure when I go to edit, I always looking back at, and make double check everything. And when I would double check, I'd be like, crap, we are wrong again. We did that 2 weeks in a row. This week is episode 197.
Crazy as before this. I asked Travis, I go, what are we on now? 195? I have no idea.
Yeah. We're just
Will I make it to the actual part of the podcast? And will you please take a second to like, share, and subscribe? And with that, time for Sean Michelle to take us away, Travis.
hey, Sean, hit it, buddy.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name. Ever seen a broken heart made whole? Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen the weak find the strength? I promise you a change his name. Ever seen the sick get healed? Ever seen a mystery revealed? Ever seen a death man raised? I promise you a change his name.
What's up, everybody? Doing? How you doing? It's time. It's time. It is definitely that time for the Hawg Slop podcast with I'm your boy Bigger T, and I'm joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, the man with the great mustache, Big C, Clint. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm fantastic. I am rocking the mustache today.
You are
Full.
in the
I
Macho
trimmed,
Man
I
shirt.
trimmed the Macho Man shirt. You know, I don't know. Seems like the look that you go with when you're like, "Hey, I'm middle aged and I give up."
Okay,
I mean, I don't know. Are you following me on the Facebook, Travis?
I am.
Are you
I am.
following me? I am practically becoming a beach bum.
Oh, good.
Like
And yeah, you went to
30
the beach
minutes
again, didn't you?
from the Gulf of whatever you want to call it. I don't care, but you'll see me out there. Didn't attempt to fish. I just went out there and hung out at the water, Travis. I went out there and just had to be, man. Just had to
Just
be.
just percolating in the lab,
Yeah,
wasn't you?
just like man, what sucks about this? Absolutely nothing.
That's
So
right.
be jealous.
You just wanted to go out there so you could throw shrimp at your kid
No,
again
no, this is just
and have the birds attack, didn't you?
that's good fun right there.
That's
I
right.
don't care. I mean,
It
just
sounds entertaining. I would.
yeah,
In
it
fact,
was.
in
Yeah,
fact, when I come see you, that's what I want to do.
yeah. Like
That's only.
I mean, like
I
we'll
mean,
get. I'll have Austin here with me
yeah.
so we can
So
do.
I want some. I want some barbecue and that. That's
And and definitely go see the comedy mothership.
yeah. That
That's
too.
on the to-do list while we're in Austin.
I want to put my name in the hat for the uh what's the oh heck. Um, I watch clips of it all the time.
Well, let me save you, Travis, because I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to issue a challenge right now.
Okay.
Right now, we're gonna go to the comedy mothership the day before the Texas game. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Plan. We're gonna go there. Joe Rogan, I challenge you to a jiu-jitsu grappling match live at the comedy mothership
Yeah.
right here
There you go.
in Austin, Texas.
I'm sure he'll watch this, and
I'm sure his people will tell him about it.
that's right.
Jamie
I
only have
Jamie
one
will tell him about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I only have one request. If this happens,
Yeah.
which let's just be honest, there's no way this is going to
Yeah.
happen.
No.
And I'll be honest with you, I would 100% do it. I don't know if I could beat Joe Rogan, even at my best. I don't know if I could beat him.
Yeah. No.
No, if I could get on top of him, I've got a chance, but the odds of that happening are slim and probably not.
Yeah.
But anyway, neither here nor there. I want the commentary of the fight. We have to broadcast it on the YouTube channel, whatever. It has to be done by you and Joey Diaz.
That's what done. Done.
Like,
Done.
I mean, would there be a better odd but awesome?
Yeah.
There's not.
A Southern Baptist preacher and Joey Diaz in the commentary together.
It's like mad flavors worldwide. That's
And the scary thing is, I think we would get along gloriously.
I mean, yeah.
I think it would be amazing.
Well, I mean, I'm like been your best friend since sixth grade, so I mean that's I mean I think that yes, it would be great, and like I don't think at any point any technical talk would happen.
No.
It would probably just mostly be y'all talking about comparing my physique to Joe Rogan's physique.
Yeah. Now Joey does do jujitsu, and so he could definitely talk some technical stuff, but
yeah, but
I think he would more than likely be roasting you.
Oh, for sure, 100.
And I would attempt to roast Joe Rogan, but would probably end up roasting you also.
No, you gotta go for it.
And hey, you would be totally okay with that.
Yeah, I'm the low hanging fruit out there. You know, right. It'd mostly be like, okay, Joe Rogan has a diet of elk.
Yeah.
And Clint looks like he kills his own pork.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, Clint, I got a little bit of a crazy story to tell you.
Fantastic.
Yesterday, you know, I do a class. So I'm over the ALE students, which is the kids that are kind of in have behavioral issues.
Learning environment, yeah, behavioral issues.
Most of them are in there because of behavioral issues, things like that. And I'm up to 10, 11 kids now in my class. Okay. A couple of them were out. They've been suspended. I have kids suspended every week. That's just normal, right? It's a normal thing. Well, yesterday after lunch, I had a girl come up to me. She said, my stomach's bothering me. Can I go to the nurse? I said, okay, go to the nurse. Then all of a sudden, here comes a boy. He says, hey, I'm about to throw up. Now, this is a kid that's got some kind of weird deal where he sort of has to kind of spit up every day. He's gone to the doctor for it. They can't figure out what it is, but it's not like he doesn't feel bad normally. He just kind of like, and they've sent him home for it because teachers have seen him do it. And they're like, because he's like had to in a trash can in the classroom or something like that. And they're like, oh no, he's got a virus, send him home. But like he doesn't have fever, doesn't have anything like that. It's just a kind of a weird deal, right? And so I said, so is this like your normal or is it different? No, I feel sick. I feel sick. So he goes to the doctor. I text his mom, let her know. Then another boy comes up. 5 kids out of 8 that were there, Clint, say they have this stomach issue. They're about to throw up or whatever.
Okay.
Now, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they ate something or whatever. And I'm like, no, these kids are playing. But what do? I can't tell them, no, you're not sick. Sit down, be quiet. Can't really do that, right? I mean, if they're saying they're sick and acting sick, then I got to at least send them to the nurse and let her decide what to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
right?
You're not a doctor.
No. I mean, I'm in no way, shape, or form. Okay.
But you have stayed at Holiday Inn Express.
I have stayed at Holiday Inn Express. And I've watched a lot of ER.
Right. And The Pit.
Which
is
the first full season.
Allegedly fantastic.
It's amazing.
Okay.
But anyway, Clint, so, and then this morning, because they went home because of that, they have to stay out an extra day in case it is some kind of virus. They don't want it, bring it back and share it with nobody else or whatever, right? So, but one of my other kids that's in the class said, yeah, I went over to so-and-so's house, and 2 of these kids, these are all low income, broken. A lot of them have broken families. Okay. And I got 2 kids that live with friends, families, because their parents they're in town, but they don't live with them. Right. And so 2 of the boys live at the same house together. And this other boy went over to their house and he said, yeah, I went over to their house to hang out. I said, how were they feeling? He said, they were playing basketball the whole time. So that let me know these kids are little actors, man.
Yeah.
Little actors. Can't trust a thing they say. Just can't trust them.
See, and one thing that always grinds my gears about my generation is we look back and we get mad at these kids.
Yeah.
We would have done the same crap.
Well, and to be honest with you, I sort of don't tell my kids this. They're probably not going to watch this. I kind of respect it.
Yeah, like real recognizes real, my friend.
Because they plan. It sounds like they planned this together. Because more than likely they got home, got on their PlayStations and Xboxes and played Fortnite against each other online. Yeah. When they got home, it's probably what happened.
Yeah, imagine
Grand Theft Auto or something like that.
Imagine us at that age with this technology.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they know that I can't. Like I can't. We're not going to just say, you're lying. Sit down. Be quiet. Yeah. We're not going to do that. Anyway, so I got a little respect for them. Although, hey, it's crazy trying to do your class with. I had 4 kids today. 4. And yeah. Anyway, it was
what do the kids call you? Do they call you Mr. Johnson?
They do. Mr. J or Mr. Johnson. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've told them they could call me Big T or whatever if they wanted to, but they all call me Mr. Johnson.
Just don't call you late for dinner.
That's right. All right, Clint. So here, let's talk. First things first, man. Let's talk about this baseball team. Okay. Ooh. That's the big talk in Arkansas right now. That's what's leading off all the call-in shows. People are, look, And last week we were pretty positive about them, right? We were pretty positive. And yes, I gotta say, Clint, some of my positivity is going away. We lost 3 straight SEC series for the first time since 2016, which was the last time Arkansas didn't make the postseason. Now we're probably, unless, hey Siri, stop talking to me. Now we're probably out of hosting a regional. There's more than like, unless we sweep these next 2 series.
I don't think you got to sweep them, but you definitely got to win. You need to win your next few series.
The teams above us are going to keep winning, Clint. I think.
Well, yeah, no, that's but we're also playing some teams above us.
Yeah,
we've got Texas.
That's true.
You beat you. I mean, yeah, it's doom and gloom. It looks bad now, but guys, this was. I mean, Florida, it was our easiest series we had left. It is what it is.
And Florida wasn't very good.
Yeah,
like they were. I mean, they were in the bottom half of the SEC.
No, they. Well, the bottom half of the SEC at SEC road is going to be hard, but now you got. Is this weekend Texas?
This weekend's Texas, and that's the only series we have against someone above us.
No, we play Tennessee. Is Tennessee not above us?
No, Tennessee is right now in the RPI. This is the RPI. This ain't the rankings, right? In the RPI, Tennessee is 10th. LSU is 9th. Yeah. That's who we have left. Tennessee is 35-9. LSU is 36-9. Arkansas is 37-9. We're 5th in RPI right now. But we have the 50th. Our strength of schedule is a 50.
Let me tell you something, Travis. I've watched. I'm 48 years old. I'll be 47. I mean 40. No, I don't. What am I, Benjamin Button?
49.
I'll be 49. Sorry, math is hard.
June. Yeah.
I took intermediate algebra twice in college.
Yeah.
Dropped it the first time. So anyway, where was I? Oh, I've been watching Razorback sports for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I've seen football games a ton. Mm-hmm. And the majority of the time, we don't get the calls and we don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I've watched a gajillion basketball games with and without Coach Cal. I remember the Eddie Sutton years. I remember the end of the. I remember Nolan starting. Mm-hmm. I remember Stan Heath. You remember what good fun that was?
Oh, blast!
Yeah, and then I remember John Pelfrey, and then Mike Anderson, and then Musselman Cal. Now I remember all of it. The majority of the time, we don't get the call and we don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But then we always got baseball. When we do get the call, and we do get the benefit of the doubt. I will tell you right now, if you win these next 3 series, which is easier said than done, they will be a super regional host. They just will. Because we're about 12 right now.
You mean a regional host? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be a top 8 seed. We just will.
Yeah.
Now, but that's not easy. But you're talking about number 1 Texas. You'll shoot back up in the top 8. You beat Texas. They're going to. I mean, I've seen us get more calls than go for us than go against us.
Yeah.
We it's Arkansas baseball. They painted themselves in a corner they shouldn't be in. But you know what? That's it. Champions are made by what they do in adversity. If it was easy and the champion was just always headed, it'd be easy. They'd be like UConn women's basketball.
Yeah, but the Clint, the scary thing is, and just to bring some,
No, you be Debbie Downer, be party pooper.
I'll be the party pooper here.
Go ahead. By the way, I'm not saying it's looking good because it's not. It's not.
Well, right now, and I just looked up on the NCAA site, right? We're ranked 11th. Georgia and Auburn's ahead of us. Tennessee's right behind us at 12.
Yeah.
Texas number 1, LSU's number 2 in the rankings. So you're right.
Yeah.
If we beat LSU, that would definitely move us up.
But you need to win. You need to win. I think you need to win 2 out of these next 3 to have a shot, and it's going to be hard. You lose one of them.
The problem is just right now, our pitching is just struggling. It's just struggling, and now for some guys, the hitting is starting to struggle a little bit. Our hitting is wonderful in non-conference games and against the lower tier teams. But when we play the better teams, our hitting is not so good. This team has played a lot better against some bad teams than they have. I mean, everybody plays better against bad teams. We're just not. You see what I'm saying? It's
yeah. No, Travis, where were we in the preseason rankings? Around 10,
something
12.
like that. Yeah.
This is who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that there is that possibility. This is who we are. This is the team. And we played. I remember looking all year and looking, man, that is a backloaded schedule.
Yeah.
That is a backloaded schedule. Like, we get your easy ones, you get your Missouris and South Carolinas and stuff like that. Your teams are on the downslide. And then towards the end of it, you get your Tennessees, you get your Texases, LSUs. Yeah. Georgia has been ranked top 1, 2. It's doable. You're in the conversation.
Yeah.
And you're good. They're good. They could lose these next 3 series and they'll probably fall to a 2 seed. But
I think fans are just frustrated because we kept hearing how talented this pitching staff was. And the bullpen hadn't been bad. The starting pitching has got us in some holes, though.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's discouraging, is except for Gage Wood in his last couple outings.
Well, he was disastrous the week before last. But
when his first one back, but then after that, he's done pretty good.
And I like what Van Horn is doing there. I would almost like to see him put Jimenez in the Sunday starter role. I really think that's why. I mean, I really you got to ride or die with Root. He's your Friday guy.
Yeah.
And he's been okay.
Yeah.
I like what he's doing Saturday. I would just rather have a different closer and have Jimenez. Let's see what he can do starting the game off. I think that's what he should do. That being said, Dave Van Horn's going to do whatever Dave Van Horn wants.
Well, and this week it's gotten a little bit different because they were supposed to play Missouri State tonight. That got canceled because of weather. It was supposed to happen in Springfield. So part of you thinks they could kind of use that game against Missouri State, although Missouri State did beat us at home. But I mean, of course, your pitching would be resting for the weekend because they played this weekend series as a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they'll be playing Thursday.
Some of your hitters, they can take the time off.
Yeah.
But I mean, Travis, there's only so much Van Horn, Thompson, Hobbs can do. There's only so much they can do.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I remember on this was, and I believe it was, Brave Horn knows that, Malcolm Turner. It was like, at the University of Arkansas, you can get as good as you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay, adversity is hit. How do you respond?
Yeah.
And we're going to find out if this team's championship material or if they're a top 20 team that's going to fizzle out on the road to Omaha.
Yeah.
And that's and we'll find it out. And there's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
Play the game.
Yep, that's it. I mean, you just got to keep playing. You got to keep plugging away and go from there. For sure.
Yeah.
Now, Clint, also, We've had a couple of I was trying to pull these up. In football, we've had some transfers coming in that I want to talk about real quick before we talk about some of the other stuff.
I saw we got the DN today, right? From the
We got a
University of Texas.
DN. He's not that impressive.
But
Uh,
I had to Google what UTPB was.
yeah, that he turned down some kind of weak schools to come to us. I mean, he wasn't turning down LSU or Tennessee or nobody like that to come to us.
What I'm saying is it's not probably he's probably going to be a death piece.
Yeah.
I mean, but
And
yeah,
he's from what I hear, he's versatile. He weighs about 280 and can play, like, he's athletic enough to play D end, or he can play D tackle. He's big enough to play D tackle, or you can put him. So especially if they run that 3-man front, he could be a little more, maybe a run stop and DN if they run that 3-3-5 like they're talking about doing. So he could be a little more versatile in that aspect. So, and like you said, a depth piece. So someone you rotate in, he's not going to start probably, unless, you never know. Sometimes, Deke Adams may have found a gem there.
who knows?
Now, one I'm excited about is Julian Neal. He's a cornerback, 6'2", 200, a big corner, coming from Fresno State. So he, already knew Raylan Sharp, the receiver. So that was a big help in getting him here. Plus, I heard him interviewed, and he has some family in Arkansas. I didn't see where his family was from, but he said he said he remembers driving to Arkansas one time as a kid to come visit for like a family reunion or whatever. But so anyway, that's a good pickup, and it's someone that we could definitely use for sure.
No, 100%. I mean, definitely. It was weird to talk Pittman. He goes, "Look, I get it." He's talking about how the coaches hate the spring portal window. He said, "I get it. It's been good to us. It's always good to us. I don't know why it's so good to us."
Yeah.
But
and now we did get the quarterback from Florida State.
Right, that was kind of like a trade out for I think losing Madden.
Yeah, definitely, and just
good,
maybe
good,
pretty much a roster filling spot.
Well, I mean, he's a former 4-star. I mean,
yeah,
got him from Florida State. You got to figure, him and KJ are going to battle out for number 2.
Well, what you'd like to see is the fact. I mean, you figure KJ should win number 2 easily, especially when you hear about him. But the thing is, Petrino recruited him at A&M, so Petrino already had a relationship with him,
right?
And Petrino liked him enough when he was at A&M, or I think he was at A&M, that he was already kind of recruiting him there a little bit when he was in high school. So that's kind of what helped Petrino go after him. So it's not somebody that he just, saw in the portal, looked up some highlight videos and offered. It's a guy that he's known about for a while, which most of these guys are. Most of these guys that they're bringing in are people that they've looked after. They also got another defensive end that I think they're pretty proud of getting, and so anyway, and a couple of receivers, which is kind of surprising because they have a pretty full receiver room, but of course you lose Shamar Easter and some others there. So, which were guys that wasn't going to play anyway.
Right. Yeah. No. And I think, that's what's, I think it's both bad and good about the portal window is guys like Shamar Easter that probably just want to play football.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to can't imagine Shamar is making a bunch of NIL money. He just wants to play football.
Yeah.
And he may want to go. I mean, he could go to okay, I can go to Arkansas State, transfer down and go have a shot at playing here. Even though, we're talking about, or a friend of the program, Austin Ledbetter.
Yeah.
He hit the portal.
Yeah.
And they said, well, I said, you can see him going to the D2 level because that kid just wants to play ball.
I think so. Yeah. And
You know,
hopefully, I hope he stays somewhere here in Arkansas. And,
yeah. I mean, if Tech needs a quarterback, fight on, my friend.
yeah.
Um, so that
And I could see him going somewhere like OBU. I don't know if they need a quarterback, but
yeah, from
Brian
an
has a pretty
Arkansas
good
Tech,
pipeline to
from an
OBU.
Arkansas Tech Hall of Famer.
That's right. That's
He is
right.
more. Yeah, you are more than welcome to wear the
That's
green
right.
coat. No, I hope wherever he goes, he has success and he's very happy. Because I mean,
Yeah.
for every and that's one of the things that would be the negative to the portal, closing the portal. But you like, I got to figure out who I got.
Yeah.
And you got to worry about keeping your own guys. But part of that obviously is still the ugly talk of the Madden, which has led to some talk that's going on in Arkansas. Should we or should we not?
Yeah. Last week we read the statement from Hunter Yurchek that he had put out because that was fresh that day. And but there's been more come out about that. Arkansas has hired, I forget the guy's name, but they hired a lawyer and a big time lawyer. This lawyer worked for on the Jim Harbaugh case against NCAA. He also worked for Houston Nutt and was the lawyer that is sort of responsible for Hugh Freeze getting fired because he did the Freedom of Information Act and found those phone calls that Hugh Freeze had at Ole Miss. And I think he's an Arkansan, a native Arkansan. But anyway, uh, he's been known to go against the NCAA and win. And so that's who Arkansas has. And the rumor is that this isn't, I don't think this is ever confirmed because they won't ever say
Right.
that Madden Ilimali that he was getting around $500,000 to be the backup quarterback at Arkansas, to be probably the third string quarterback this next year at Arkansas. That's a lot of money. And that means Petrino must have really liked this kid. But like we talked about before, you know, uh, that's the Arkansas has every right to go after their money. It's kind of weird that these kids get paid and then like he didn't play it down for Arkansas. But now the national talk is, has this fact that Arkansas is now suing, not just him, what's the other guy? James?
Yeah, Desmond James.
Desmond James. They're suing those two guys to get money back that they paid them, or the Arkansas Edge is doing that. Okay. It's not really University of Arkansas. It's Arkansas Edge, which is a separate entity. Does the fact that they're doing that, Clint, is that a bad look for Arkansas? That's what national pundits are talking about. That's what Paul Feinbaum and some of them, I think, are saying.
No, because I think if basically what it's saying, the message it would send to me if I was an athlete would be like, no, they're only going to come at me if I go and I don't fulfill my end of the agreement. Which the end of the agreement is you just stay and roll there and you play football.
Yeah.
That's the agreement.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, okay, I've got to catch you X amount. I got to do X amount. You've got to hold in your agreement.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like your employer says, okay, you're going to show up at 9:00 and you're going to work to 5:00 and you're going to get these tasks done.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, I stayed from 9 to 5, but I didn't get a couple of the tasks done.
Yeah.
They still have to pay you for that time.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. You're doing a service. If they pay me for the service from 9 to 5 and then I leave at noon,
yeah,
and they've already paid for it, then no, I would need to give them some money back. That is the way that works.
And the word is that in the contract that there is some kind of contracts they sign, and the kind of what's being said. Like I said, we don't know any of this for sure because they don't make these contracts public.
Right. But we're speculating fact.
But what people are saying is that in those contracts, there is wording that says you got to stay through the season kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, and other players have broken that in the past. It's just schools, because they didn't want to be seen as the ones going after them. They they don't want other teams to say, "Hey, don't go there," because if you don't do exactly what they say, they're going to sue you. And so other coaches and other teams, general managers now could make Arkansas look like the bad guy. But now other national pundits are saying, way to go, Arkansas. It's about time somebody stood up to these kids and quit letting them run things and stood up for yourself. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, you talked about this earlier. That's the side I land on too.
Well, in Desmond James, I don't know the circumstances of that one. He obviously is not the high profile one. So you wonder what he got because he seemed like, because he left in the first portal, but he seemed like he got in it awful late.
Yeah.
So I think he ended up like at Appalachian State or something like that. He wasn't a major
I can't
player.
remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably should have Googled it.
Yeah.
Well. But I remember I'm like, oh, that's where he went. Are you Googling it?
No.
You should, because I need to know. I'm going to have to Google it. But I mean, it didn't seem like it was egregious. Like, I get going after Madden. I really do. But I didn't. That one kind of startled me. So you got to wonder what he was given that they would be spicy enough to go after him.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be. I mean, I would guess at least a guy like him, I would guess at least, $100,000-$200,000, something like that, at least, maybe more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I think
he transferred to Cal.
Okay. So and he's probably getting paid by them pretty good. So anyway, all right, Clint. So also,
anybody can get into Berkeley.
That's right. Yeah.
He's smart.
Also, talk a little more football. The draft happened this weekend. Did you watch any of it?
Man, it was kind of like the train wreck you couldn't turn away
from. Yeah.
Like, I can't say I sit there and watched it religiously, but I stayed up and watched the first round because I'm like, I was like everybody, like, okay, where should Shedeur gonna go? Like, it was train wreck, can't miss TV. It was like watching a car chase on TV.
Yeah,
it really was. I hadn't seen anything like it since OJ got into the Bronco.
That's right. Yeah.
Where I just because I kept watching. I watched all the first round because I usually do watch all the first round.
Yeah.
And I really thought, I thought Landon had a chance to go in the first round, and then of course he didn't go.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't even the first hog taken.
Yeah.
They came in to get Isaac Tesla. Yep. I believe Detroit even traded up in the third round to get him.
I can't remember if they traded up, but yeah, I mean, it was.
I don't know, but they did get him in the third round. Really super exciting because if you follow Isaac at all on Instagram, he is a Detroit fan.
Oh yeah, he grew up there. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a Detroit. He's a Detroit guy.
There's pictures of him as a little kid in a Detroit Lion jersey.
So I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing about him in Arkansas, he plays a lot of special teams too, and so he really, he could be a fourth receiver that also plays special teams. I was watching McAfee today. He was playing in the background at work, and he's talking about a guy 6th round from Toledo got drafted.
Yeah.
And they're talking about this guy can do this, they can do that. He goes, it doesn't matter. Can you play special teams?
Yeah.
If you can play special teams, you can make this football team.
Yeah.
He goes, just playing special teams. He goes, that's what you're being drafted for. Can you play special teams?
Yeah.
And
I personally think Tesla will be the number 2 receiver on that team. I think, look, I've been saying that it's on here. I think he's going to have a better pro career than Armstrong.
Armstrong went undrafted, which really surprised me.
Yeah. I mean, but saying that in the middle of the season was more of a big deal than it was saying it right now. Okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of people thought Armstrong would have got drafted in front of Tesla. And I thought after the combine Tesla had, and if people watched his game film, which Detroit obviously did, and then the commentators when he was drafted said, look, this guy was underutilized at Arkansas. And
But
that's what
you screamed.
I've been saying it the whole
Yeah.
time that Talon Green, for some odd reason, I love Talon. I'm not trying to dog Talon, but he missed him wide open many times. And Tesla can play the outside receiver. He can play in the slot. He can run your routes that you normally a tight end would run. The seam stuff, the little curls in the middle. He's willing to do all that kind of stuff. He's got good hands. He's athletic. He can do it for jump balls. He was underutilized at Arkansas, and I think he's going to be one of those guys that when he gets to the pros. And here's the cool thing: 2 picks later, our boy Landon Jackson was picked.
Right.
And what's so great is both of them went to teams that they're going to get to probably see postseason football this year.
No, and I think they're both going to get quite a bit of playing time. I mean,
yeah.
I think if you are correct, and Tesla's the receiver in the pros that you think he's going to be, and I think he's going to be good. I think he'll be a great second, third option. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And Landon Jackson, he's a ball player, and I think they're both going to have great pro careers.
Yeah.
And they went to great teams where they can really.
And look, Landon Jackson is not going to be. He's not going to get 10 sacks a year in the NFL. I think he's going to be like Trey Flowers, though.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about Trey Flowers, and here's the thing about Landon Jackson. Everybody look for the sacks on defense. Looks for the sacks on defensive ends. That's not the first thing I look for. I look for a guy that can keep contained, a guy that can set the edge, and Landon Jackson does that as well as any defensive end in the country. He does a great job against the run. He does a great job of taking on blockers. He's gonna set up his linebackers so that they can scrape off and make plays, and they're gonna love him in Buffalo for that, because that's why Trey Flowers has made it in the NFL and done so well. That's why Dietrich Wise has done so well. Look, they're not stat crunchers or anything like that. They're not going to be your Myles Garrett. They're not that guy. That's not who they are. Now, Landon Jackson is a freak, is an awesome athlete, no doubt about it. But the way he plays, he's gonna provide a lot of different things for the team, and he's just going to be I think he's going to be a solid pro. Were you surprised that some other guys didn't get drafted from Arkansas?
Armstrong really surprised me. I was just shocked. That one perplexed me. No one else really did. Gregory, he's a super senior. I thought he'd have a chance, but I didn't really think so.
I think his age hurt him. I think talent wise, he would have been a 5th round pick or so. I think the age thing made that, if you can get a guy with equal talent that's 21 years old or 22 years old,
yep.
then I think.
But
I'll tell you one that surprised me a little bit.
Go ahead.
I thought he would get picked up, but this was a deep class at this position. But I thought Jaquindon Jackson.
No, that one doesn't surprise me. It really didn't.
Man, the way he runs the ball, though, I mean, just.
But I heard
he's set up good for pros.
I was watching McAfee and a lot of football guys in there.
Yeah.
And one of the things they said today, all you got to do is get in the building. That's it.
Yeah.
Get in the building, do what you can do. So even them guys that sign, because a lot of times the 5th, 6th, 7th round guys, you're almost better off going undrafted, they say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But,
that way you can pick the better situation.
All you got to do is get in the building to do what you can do. You get in there, you play special teams, you bust your butt, and, look at Jason Peters.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest pro career of any NFL Razorback in mine in your lifetime.
Yep.
And the man went undrafted.
Yep.
Even changed position, played tight end. Now, Travis, I got to ask you. I mean, obviously, the big story of the draft, Shedeur Sanders slide. We're not going to break that. Kid went in the 5th round. A lot of stories about disastrous interviews, feeling unentitled. You know, like one thing they're talking about on McAfee today was, or, you know, over a couple of days, the anonymous sources, how they hate the anonymous sources.
Yeah.
But they go, dude, if you don't leave them anonymous, they won't talk to you again.
Yeah.
You know, as with some of them, but it's hard without knowing who it was. But for 32 teams to buy it, that says something. Because I remember watching it in the 2nd round, going, is Jerry going to do it? Can Jerry help himself?
Yeah. Can
Jerry help himself? And Jerry helped himself through 4 rounds, and then finally it ended in the 5th round. So, Travis, how do you feel about the Browns draft? Because the big trade, y'all got the big trade, then go.
I wasn't happy at first because, as I said on here, I wanted Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
I thought there were 3 players in this draft that were franchise-changing players, okay, that you could put on your team, and they were I'm saying there's maybe more than that, but there was 3 guys that I thought were
Isaac Tesla, because you're in love with
him. That's right, yeah. Yeah. No, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Genty.
Yep.
I think you bring any 3 of those, not just because of their talent, but because of their attitude, the way they play, and what they're going to bring to the field every day, just within the locker room, the hard work they're going to bring, everything else. I think those are the type of guys. They're the Myles Garretts. They're they're the Micah Parsons. They're the guys that you could wrap your team around, right?
No, because, and I think didn't Genty go to the Raiders?
Yeah.
Which was the perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you what this move got Antonio Pierce fired.
Yeah.
Because you remember Josh Jacobs was their running back.
Yeah.
And their offense was feed Josh Jacobs. And then the next year, and I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, last year Josh Jacobs was a Packer.
Yeah.
The running back's back, y'all.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
Well, and so the Browns had a chance for Hunter. They trade down to 5. Now Carter went 3.
They got some stuff for him.
Now they got some stuff, and they got a number 1 first round pick next year in a very quarterback heavy draft. You know what people say is going to, most people, pundits say is going to be a better quarterback draft. So I wasn't too upset about that because I thought, okay, now they can get Genty. Now they get Goodwin, whatever his name is, the defensive tackle for Michigan. At first, I was kind of like, oh, okay. But the more I've seen about him, the more I like him. This kid, first of all, is a good defensive tackle. He'll be great next to Myles Garrett because he can also rush the passer from the defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And the best thing about him, Clint, one of his teammates, a cornerback from Michigan, was sliding in the draft and slid to the 2nd round. Once he did his interviews and stuff, he found out that his buddy was still in the green room.
Yeah.
So instead of going out and partying with his family or hanging out, celebrating or going straight to the Cleveland or whatever, he went back in the green room and hung out with his buddy the rest of the night. That tells you what kind of teammate he is.
No, that's cool. That's real.
Yeah. Cool. And so anyway, I like him.
You know what I'm asking.
I know, but then Shedeur, I like the Shedeur pick because you're getting the best player at that time, right? Let's roll the dice on him. Let's see. You already have a quarterback room where you got your cagey veteran that's probably going to start.
Yeah.
You got Pickett, there to be another young guy that might could turn into something. I didn't understand if you're thinking about getting Shedeur Sanders later, like why not take Shedeur Sanders in the 3rd round where you pick up Gabriel?
Right. Yeah.
Like to me, I would pick Sanders. If I'm going to pick a quarterback in the draft, I'm not going to pick Gabriel and then Sanders.
You
You know what I
really
mean?
you really did have to think. Like, I mean, there's no one. I don't see many people that probably had a fifth round grade on Shadur Sanders.
Nobody. Nobody
But
does.
no, but me and you talked about it. I mean, not only if there's the attitude questions and the set at the Talmud, if you even have that, but there's also what we call the Tim Tebow effect,
Yeah.
where me and you were talking about it, is that, people just, he's going to bring a circus no matter where he goes
Yeah.
because he's going to be prime topic. And then the head coach is going to be looking over his shoulder. They're going to fire me,
And bring his daddy here.
bring his dad in to coach him.
And that's something they commentators really didn't talk about much.
Yeah.
But Stefanski's kind of on a hot seat. I mean, he was coach of the year a couple years ago, but the Browns fans are ready for him. I mean, of course, it's not his fault necessarily. I think he's decent. I mean, I think he's a good coach. I've been voiced with my, anyway, this isn't a Brown show.
Yeah. No,
So anyway,
no. So, but yeah, we had to talk a little bit of draft.
yeah. But the draft overall, man, a lot of teams really did well. There was a lot of good running backs taken. A lot of them went to some good teams. Jacksonville, they put some, not only with Travis Hunter, they got some other good pieces to go around.
Y'all got Judkins, didn't you?
Yeah, I got Junkins and kid from Tennessee, the quicker running back from Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
so you got a good
a
1-2 punch there.
I had a good draft. It all depends on how the quarterback play is for Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh, and it's always that. But
always spotty.
Anyway, Clint, about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Is there something I'm forgetting? I think we got everything we wanted to talk about.
No, you said we want to do a little what you watching.
I want to do what you watching. What you watching?
Well, because I mean, me and you have the TV viewing habits of teenage girls. Like
we do, yes.
So we love MTV's The Challenge.
Yeah.
So I watched on Netflix. There's a show called Battle Camp.
I just started it.
Okay, it's like they said, okay, let's take our reality TV buttholes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put them. We can't put them in a big house. MTV does that. We just can't.
Yeah.
Let's put them in camp, and just like, here you go. And so, yeah, it is truly awful. It is truly, truly terrible. And I finished the entire thing.
Yeah.
They basically just tried to, like, hey, we're going to copy MTV's homework and we're going to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Put a unique spin on it. Taylor Lewan hosted, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because he's so quiet. My favorite Taylor Lewan, though, was when he signed that second NFL contract. Because that's one thing about Cam Ball, he understood, like, your goal is to get to that second NFL contract.
Yeah.
He said, but when he came out after that with the office line, he was dressed as Boss Hawk.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, what you been watching?
It's an interesting show.
It's
I
terrible.
I don't know any of the people on it because I haven't watched any of those other Netflix reality shows.
Well, I don't see. I don't.
It just came up in my.
Yeah.
It just came up with my For You, or whatever. So I was like, no. Do you like true crime documentary type stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got one for you that's kind of homegrown.
Okay.
Okay. It actually came out Sunday night.
Is it another documentary about meth?
No.
Okay.
This one I don't think has anything to do with meth.
Okay.
It's based in Camden. It happened in 2016. Okay, while I was living there. And it's a story about this young man that he was working on the Deepwater Horizon oil rig down in the Gulf. The movie was made with Mark Wahlberg about it and everything. Right. Well, because of that, he had injuries. He ended up okay, but like messed his hip up or something. And then he had some PTSD type stuff from it because it was a very traumatic thing. And through that, he got like a monetary settlement, like nearly a couple $1 million, like $1.7 million, something like that. But you live in Camden, Arkansas with $1.7 million, you're high rolling, right? So he comes back to Camden and he's living, buys him house and stuff. And when he goes to buy a house, actually he buys a couple houses. When he goes to buy a house, he goes in and meets this. I think he already knew her, but this real estate lady, Donna Herring, and they become close. Okay, and he's in his 30s, and he starts dating her daughter, who was like 17 at the time they started dating. And by the time he's 34 and she's 18, and they were supposedly engaged, he dies in a single vehicle accident. Okay. And I'm not going to give away too much. But this is all public knowledge. This was all covered on the news and stuff. The documentary goes deeper into it. But what happened was there was some shady business stuff happened with the wheel. Okay. And it ended up, and there's some other people ended up dying later that was sort of connected to the story. And it's a very interesting, like, I didn't know these people. Like, I'd seen her because I'd seen her picture on or her name on real estate signs and stuff like that. And I'd heard about her, but I didn't know her. And she's interviewed on it, and like his son, he had a 17-year-old son at the time he died. And, which was kind of weird because he was dating an 18-year-old girl and he had a 17-year-old son. But anyway, it's a very well done documentary. Like, the photography's really good on it and the storytelling's really good. The FBI gets involved and all this kind of stuff.
What's it called and where is it?
It's called Southern Fried Lies.
Okay.
And it's Southern Fried Lies, and it's on it originally aired on Peacock, on Oxygen, but it's on I think it's on Peacock. And then also if you have you have Hulu still, or do you have,
I got it.
You can look it up. I mean, I have Hulu. You can look it up on that too. But it's really good. It's a really good documentary. So folks, if you like true crime type stuff, that's right here in Arkansas. They filmed, it's pretty cool because there's this pawn shop in Camden that's I love it. Like, it's the most disorganized place in the world. The guy's got guns. Like, he don't even know how many guns he has. They're just piled up against the wall. Like, one time I went in there, I said, "Hey, I need a scope for one of my hunting rifles." He goes, "You want a high dollar one or just a regular scope?" I said, "Just a regular scope." He handed me a shoebox full of scopes. Said, "Just pick you one out." And so I just went through it, picked one out. He goes, "It looks like about $20." So it's just that kind of place, man. The guy's a character that runs it. But anyway, it's like him and another guy, and they're talking about the story and what the town was thinking and stuff. But it's really well done. It's very, I was impressed with how well done it was, because I thought, okay, this is filmed in Camden. We'll see what it's like. But anyway, it's an interesting story, folks. So, and the lady that's like the center of it all is a character and a half. Like, you'd be like, okay, this lady is way guilty, or this lady is.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's worth the watch. I think it's only like an hour long. So
you want me to spoil who won the battle camp?
No.
Okay, 197's in the can, Travis. Hey, be sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Man. Tell us what you think.
Tell us, was battle camp trash? Yes or no?
And if you watch Southern Fried Lies, tell us about it. It's good. Good stuff. Folks, we appreciate you as always watching, listening, and sharing, liking, commenting, all that kind of stuff. We need you. We thank you. We do it for you because we care, because you care. And so, folks, have a great week. Clint. Pig suey.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy. when your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filled